Hello, PDHP parents and community. So today we're talking about preventive parents. And one of the conversations that we're having today, sorry, I'm just fixing my camera a bit. One of the conversations we're having today is that we have all this information about drugs and alcohol and other substances that are out there. But when do I start talking to my child about this? So it's interesting because we can start the conversation as early as preschool age. People seem very surprised and taken back by that. But I want you to consider this idea. Preschoolers have often, at this point, seen some kind of alcohol use, whether it's in real life or perhaps through media, maybe TV, online videos. And we can talk about how behaviors impact lives later on. Kids of this age love rules. They have an idea of what you believe is good and what you as parent believe is bad, and they think that is very important. So it is something that you can think about talking to them about. Primary grades. In your primary grades, they're very interested in life outside of the household and outside of the family. So it is a good time to explain what alcohol is. Alcohol is obviously much more socially acceptable and part of cultural practices. So it is a good place to start this conversation according to OASS. You can talk about what's presented. You can talk about positives and negatives, consequences. You can talk about why people may use alcohol. You can say, even street examples, drunkenness is never okay. It's never a good idea. There are dangers that are there. There's large risk. So conversations around that can occur. And of course, you would use your language, as you're talking to your child, for the age. But OASIS does say that alcohol is a great conversation starter because of the fact, if you think about it, we talked about the ease in the procurement. A lot of households do have it. It's available in a store. You go to a grocery store, your local corner store, and you're walking past, okay? So it is part of a, daily kind of routine sometimes to see these items, an advertisement even. A lot of times what happens, though, is parents don't have these conversations. And why is it? It could be as simple as saying something like, I'm worried about the use of. I remember when I was teaching junior high, I often would hear these different statistics in different areas of risk, maybe as I was driving into work. And sometimes, I would be in front of the classroom and I would start my morning off and I would take my attendance and, we would do all the morning routines. And right before the bell rang for the kids to go to the other class, I would just kind of pop that statistic out at them, that data, and be like, hey guys, I'm kind of concerned about this because they're talking about your age group, or, you're getting to that age, so it makes me wonder, and I hope that, whatever the message was. And a lot of times what would happen is they would go off amongst their day, and sometimes they would come back to me, maybe one or two kids, and say, hey, you brought that up. I think this. Or maybe it would steamroll another conversation. Just these little tidbits, just information. Information is important. And a lot of times that's what gets in the way of our conversations. with our kids. Maybe we feel that we don't have the current information. Well, I hope after viewing some of these particular pieces, you feel that you do. Perhaps it's also as the kids get older, we see a resistance in our adolescence. We see this presumption that after all of these years of parenting and all of these years of saying the same thing over and over again, you know that old parenting adage, that momily, if you will, or daddily, if you will, where you say, how many times do I have to tell you? How many times do I have to say? Throw that idea away. Keep saying it. I know sometimes these little things can drive you crazy, but keep saying it because then it clicks at some point. It's stored. It's brought back. It's important. But there is this presumption that, we've had these conversations before, so clearly you know already. So many times they want more information from us, particularly from parents. And a lot of times, I did say yesterday, bring in your PDHP staff in your school to help you with that conversation. When you get those letters that they're working with your kids, when you're looking at some of the books that are being brought home, Life Skills or Too Good, that series, take a look at what the current syllabus is. What page are you working on in that class, and they'll show you. That can be the conversation starter. But so many times there is a conversation that throws it back to the school. Do not take your power away as a parent from yourself. Because by far and large, that's the most important conversation. You're the most important source of information for them. They want to know what you think. They want to know what you feel. So bring that in as a conversation. Make your messages clear. Make your messages consistent. There is this thought that if in research that some teenagers figured if their parents aren't talking about marijuana, for example, then it wouldn't be a big deal. They wouldn't be upset about if they smoked it. And as a result, those kids are 4 times more likely to engage in marijuana use. And we know that it's a gateway. And we know that it's very different from maybe what we have seen before in our lifetimes, use of marijuana. So again, these videos are here for you. Grab them again. Look at them at your leisure. I know maybe it's not what you want to do when you sit back and relax, but it's information that's there for you when you need to have this conversation. And it's okay to say to your kids, you know what? I want to have a conversation with you about this because it's important and you're important. And I want to just get some of the information ironed out. And that's okay to do too. Okay? Sometimes we don't have all the answers. That's part of being human. We're perfectly imperfect. All right. So I hope you have a great Thursday. I put some questions up about how you socialize with your friends during this pandemic time. So share along. I see some of you have been active, and I hope you're all taking care of yourselves. And I will be talking to you again next week. We'll continue to talk about this conversation. We will also look at different tactics that we can use to our best ability to help engage what we call protective factors for our kids when it comes to the risk of substance misuse. Have a great day.